Afternoon, everybody. Just give it a couple more minutes. See some more people coming in to dissect this madness we've had this morning. My God, what a day! I've just caught the most insane move of my life. Look at this. I just shorted the DAX just before that news. Well, not actually before the news, when Lagarde was talking. And I just held this all the way down here. I was trailing my stops by 10 pips. All the way down there until I finally got taken out and the thing's still going. Crazy. Yeah, wow. ADR, we'll have a look at it all in a minute, but dashboard's going crazy. How is everybody? Is everybody still alive? Has anybody paid the mortgage off yet? I'm exhausted. So, just had some news. In case you didn't notice. Bank rates as expected for euro and the pound. The bank rate votes came out overwhelmingly positive for another increase. Wasn't expected to be, and is. Evening, Adrian. Unemployment claims are positive for the US, but that's not really doesn't really do an awful lot. We'll have a look at it in a minute and just see what's actually happened to that anyway, because I haven't been watching that. I've been glued to the euro and the DAX. Afternoon, Andy. I'm just going to quickly look at what Lagarde's statement, because Lagarde, this move, the announcement on the rates didn't do an awful lot. It was when Lagarde started speaking, the market went absolutely crazy. This is 1:30 when Lagarde started talking here, and I saw this reversal alert come in, and I was like, yeah, let's have a go. And I saw it drop, and I watched it for a few minutes, and I saw it coming down. So I entered a position, then I thought, sod it, let's go. And I entered another one, and another one. And as soon as I entered those positions, it basically, boom, it locked it in, and I just rode it. It was like holding onto a bucking bronco. As it was coming down, I was just dragging my stops down on it. But yeah, she shook the market up this afternoon. So let's have a look at what was said. EC and EJ, RSI just lit. Everything's lit up. The ADR dash is lit up. The RSI dash is lit up. The market's lit. Cannot prejudice March forecast. The council was concerned about rushing into decisions. Energy still the main reason for elevated inflation. So inflation's going up. No shock. Growth likely to remain subdued in quarter one. Okay. Right. Well, that's all pretty standard stuff. So, yeah. Anyway. Mental. So let's dissect the markets. Let's have a look at what's going on. A bit cautious about entering anything this afternoon. I was in this trade basically, and I used all my margin up on it, which means I missed my entry on the Nasdaq. Remember, I had a pending. I had a sell limit underneath the Asian low. I didn't get triggered on it because I didn't have enough margin to trigger it. So I've got one triggered there. So I've got my first entry on Nasdaq short. So we'll see what happens with that. But yeah, so don't know where to start really. ADRs, euro. So let's have a look at the. Let's start with the pound. So beautiful wick play on the pound odd. Yeah, big move up. Everybody that got short on Tuesday has had their liquidity taken, and now they're off running away with it. Pound CAD, same story, massive 125 ADR collapse. Pound Swiss, huge pop, all liquidity gone, drop. Pound yen, big push. Let's have a quick look at where we've got. Not much going on with the liquidity grab on that. Pound New Zealand, yeah, every single short that's been taken this week, including the ones taken on this lovely hammer where everybody jumped in short, gone. Massive stop. It's just the whole thing's a massive stop hunt today. Pound US dollar, all those shorts gone. Just ran straight into the sellers and popped it back down again. So massive stop hunts across the board on the pound. Euros. We're still in play on the euro at the minute, although the move is starting to fade. Big spikes, obviously, across the board on the news. There's not as if they can really reach for a lot on the euro because it's been stuffed for ages. But, I mean, it's taken out quite a lot of levels. Yen. Shows you how weak the yen is, isn't it? New Zealand literally just taken the liquidity on the New Zealand dollar. So all of these, up to you what you want to do on them. But all of these news spikes, as you've seen on the pound, 99% of the time, these news spikes are stop hunts, liquidity runs, and you fade it. So all these euros are good fade opportunities at the moment. Odd's starting to fade now. CAD is starting to fade. Swissy's starting to fade. They're all starting to fade. So you want to jump in and just, I mean, you're not going to get reverse alerts on anything because the moves have been too aggressive. So they're all good to fade. Anything you've got in short on the euro or the pound, you will have got into additional positions on and out. Let me open the VPS and have a look at where we are. Oh, you can probably tell from my voice, I'm absolutely exhausted trading that. Craziness. Right, so this is the cop bias. I haven't changed the cop bias on the pound, have I? Yeah, I was going to leave it this week because I wanted to wait and see what happened with it. So I haven't changed that one. So we're shorting pound US dollar. So entered a load of shorts and in initial positions on those in line with COT. 4 hour M15 entered loads of positions in line, just in line with whatever. One trade on H4 M15, that is the trend bias one. This is the normal one. So just one trade entered on there so far. We're going to get reverse alerts this afternoon, so I expect a lot more positions to come in this afternoon. And we've still got those two from the other day. So still on the first one with Euro US dollar alert. Haven't had a reversal alert on that move. So I'm going to get in a second position there, which is 72 pips apart. Not going to get a second, are we, on that? Okay, I'm going to take a manual on this. What are we trading? 0.1s. Okay, it's taking another short on this one manually. Because the EA is not going to manage to get me in on this on M5. It's too far away. So I'm just going to take a manual. I want to get into a second position on there. My average is obviously in the middle now. So this one should fade back down to source at some point, which will be an exit. So yeah, big moves. Big moves. I wonder if I banked anything else on the... just see if the strategy quant EAs did anything. Made a loss on that one so far today. Got 80 profit. 215 down on that today. Got a fair few Euro US dollar longs running. See if we can push up a little bit more today and get those into profit. But yeah, big moves. Big moves. EC and EJ, RSI lit up. Yeah, let's talk about that one. We'll have a look at those in a sec. I was shorts on Euro, the pound, and CAD this morning. Got out of it just before the spikes. Your pounds, you're missing money on the pounds. They're all collapsing. The euros as well. It's not good news for the euro, regardless of what Lagarde has just said. It's not good news for the euro. Basically, she's come out really and said, we're still concerned about rushing into decisions, i.e. we're not going to do anything about the hideous nightmare that we're in at the moment. Energy is still making inflation go up, and we've got a big problem with it. Growth is unlikely to increase in quarter one, i.e. we're going to carry on as badly as we have been, and we're not going to change the rates. It's all negative. This is a complete knee-jerk reaction. So unless she says something else that they haven't forecast yet or haven't released yet, there's nothing positive in there for the euro. So I'd be fading the whole lot of that. Adrian, shorting EJ, yeah. 225 ADR, yeah, get in. Irregardless of what this is, everybody that's made this move is getting out of this move at some point because they've got to get out with a profit. So it's all going to fade. Whether it fades today or not, we don't know. So ADRs, kind of ignore those. There's nothing you can do about the ADRs today. New Zealand's... So New Zealand's are legitimate hits. Let's have a quick look at these. So New Zealand's had a good day. New Zealand CAD 125 ADR. It's just pushing up again. New Zealand, Swiss, just hit 100 ADR. No reversal alert. New Zealand yen still pushing. So it looks like we've got a weak yen today. Very weak yen. Everything up against the yen. Weak US dollar as well at the moment by the looks of things. So really weak yen, which is why we've got this pound yen, such a violent one, and the euro yen, obviously. So we got a really weak yen. So this is probably the most dangerous, Adrian, yen pair to short at the moment because the yen is really, 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 really weak. And the euro is really, 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 really strong. But either way, that's going to fade out. It's already started, so you'll be all right on that. Right, let's have a quick look at the Dixie. See what's been going on with the Dixie. Oh dear. US dollar's not happy, is it? When did that start? That started on the unemployment figures. It's interesting. So we had positive unemployment figures come out, and obviously that the market tanked. But the market's tanked off the back of the ECB as well. The ECB press conference started at the same time, and that's tanked the US dollar. So again, hopefully this is just a liquidity run on the US dollar. Obviously they started the move yesterday, so they will have enticed a load of longs in. We didn't get above that resistance level, and we've cracked back down to these lows, to the pip. This black line, this 95,529 that I've got drawn in here is not something I've just drawn in. That's an old level I drew in from previous, which looks like it might be an old H4. Yeah, it's the bottom of this rangelet. Accumulation, rejection. 72 moving average. There we go. So hopefully that is the bottom on the US dollar and we'll get the pop. So again, non-farm payroll tomorrow. Expect fireworks. Right. ADR's just, dashboard's going to be off the charts today. Right, so RSIs. Quite a few extensions, as you would imagine, on RSI now. So let's have a quick look at those. EuroCAD. You probably have a few more actually going to light up in a minute. So EuroCAD, we're up in the 80s. We will be up in the 80s. How long we got left on these 4-hour candles? 2 hours 43. So we've got ages left. Got another 3 hours left on these candles. So EuroCAD off the charts. Obviously at the minute we are broken back above the 72. We've got this level here. Unlikely we're going to hit that 150. Never know, might do. So 150 ADR is resistance, which is a very strong resistance level. So if we get up to 150 ADR on Euro CAD today, that'd be perfect. Not sure we'll get there, but we'll see. Obviously, all liquidity from short positions has now gone. They may come and take those, but that 4-hour liquidity on all those shorts before they pulled back is now gone. So there's a lot of short potential moves on that one. So that's getting nicely extended. Euro yen obviously is very extended on the 4-hour already. We're up at the 80s now, and we're going to light up. So basically, we're going to light the dash all the way up to there. So if you're not in these, and this is your first entry at 80, first entries at 80 are pretty safe. You're going to get a pullback. It's already started. So, I mean, you kind of want to get in before we light up there, don't you? Hourlies is probably... Oh, the hourlies haven't even hit yet. Look. So yeah, euro yen, massive extensions. Euro US dollar, we were extended already. So anybody got in initial entries there, obviously, like I have, next entries are about to go in. Looks like I'm about to take profit. Oh no, that's a different EA. I was going to say I got a load of profit. I got 0.5% profit sitting on pound yen, but it's on the strategy quant EAs. Totally different strategy. Ignore me. US dollar, yeah, massive extension again. So US dollar strength. As soon as we get that power up on the US dollar, we're popping. Pound CAD, already done. This is already happened, really, hasn't it? But I mean, that's a massive rejection. So look for shorts on it, but kind of the shorts were up at 125 ADR really on these. No opportunity to get in. You haven't even had a 5-minute reversal of that off the back of that news. Look, very hard to trade today. Very much seat of your pants type trade. Pound Swiss liquidity run, H4 extended, only just got there on that one. Pound CAD is was much nicer. It's kind of played out. Pound yen extended, potential drop, but this is obviously a very weak yen at the moment. These pounds are very difficult because obviously pounds, we've been looking for long opportunities on the pound for the last week. Yeah, a little bit tricky. So I think with the pound, kind of wait and see what happens with it. But I think we're probably going to get some decent pullback moves on the pound before we get another leg higher. And obviously pound US dollar, we should expect that one to drop based off of the US dollar strength that's coming through. Lovely sell gap just filled there as well. So looking for shorts on that one. So that looks good as well. So I'm already in pound US dollar. I'm already in euro US dollar short on those. Hourlies, we've only got euro Swiss extended. I'm going to quickly whiz through everything on the hourlies, I think. And let's just see where we are with these. So euro Swiss 80, because a lot of these you're not going to find have lit up yet. They will light up when the next hourly candle closes potentially. So we'll whiz through them all actually and have a look at them. Aussie CAD, no, that's not hit. Aussie Swiss, no. Aussie yen, getting close on the Aussie yen. We've got a nice area of potential resistance coming up for a double top. In fact, we've just tapped it. Looks good for potential short opportunity there for a double top. Aussie New Zealand, that's not, so that's in the middle. Aussie US is reaching up, that's in the middle. CAD yen reaching up. So all these yens basically, remember I've been saying looking for shorts on the yens. They're all starting to get movement to the upside now. So we should be starting to look for shorts on them at some point when they get extended. Swiss yen already is extended, just taken out these highs from a couple of weeks ago. So potentially this is a liquidity run at the moment. The Swiss franc is powering up off the back of the euro. Obviously the euro and the Swiss work in the same zone, so they will power up together. So the Swiss is obviously just powering up because the euro is. When the euro takes its foot off the gas, so will the Swiss franc. So with these euros, euro odd is nicely extended, ready for a short. Every time we pop, we drop. Every time we pop, we drop. This is the euro, don't forget. It doesn't last long before it comes back down again. So nice opportunity on the euro odd for a short on M5. Again, I'm not sure you're going to get a reverse alert on these. No, it's too far, too hard. You have to take bearish price action. So you've just had a bearish engulfing there. So you can't use the reverse alert indicator because of the speed of the movement. So bearish candle is kind of your entry. Same process. If you want to use stops, you put the stop above the high. Same process, and look for a retest off of the bearish price action move down. Euro Swiss, same thing, massively extended. Going to pull back and fade back down to probably 1041 level. Again, you're not going to get one. You've had a bearish engulfing, pushing back, so look for potential drop on that. Euro pound, not got there yet. Obviously, pound is weak at the moment, which is why we've got this one extended. So still good short opportunity on that one. Euro yen, say that's really good. It's probably the worst one of the yens, as I say, to trade at the minute, but it is the one that is the most extended. So even if you get embedded up there, you know at some point we're going to come back. Remember what we're doing. We're going to be painting here huge propulsion gaps. When this candle closes here, we've got one massive propulsion gap here. Can anybody remember what that big propulsion gap was recently? What pair it was on? Again, just look through your RSIs and have a look at all of these. There's a few that are getting very, very extended. I'm just trying to find that propulsion gap. There's one there which is fairly big. So my point on this is when this candle closes, we're going to get a big propulsion gap drawn. One of two things happens with large propulsion gaps off the back of news. You either get a same-day fade, and we get what was called the A-shaped recovery, or we get a multi-day fade where we'll get an accumulation and a slight push for the next day, and then day 3 to day 4, we get the fade back to usually at least 50% of the gap, if not a complete fill of the gap. There's one recently we've had. Oh, there you go. There's an example of one there. Yeah, so we either get the next day fade or we get the same day fade. So there's one particular I'm thinking of that took multiple days. That's not really a big one. There was a really big one. And I can't remember what pair it was. It's that one there. I thought it was a long for some reason. Can't remember. But there was one. Was it an Aussie? Don't know. Maybe it was a bit further ago than I'm thinking. But with these, basically, when you get the big propulsion gaps, these are like they're like magnets. We know that. As soon as you get a big one, more often than not, within a couple of days, you'll have it faded. If it takes longer, it takes longer. But they virtually always, the bigger they are, without an actual fundamental news event, the more likely they are to get filled. Pound US dollar. Yeah, I don't know if it was pound US dollar. I can't remember. But I mean, there's fairly big ones you can see. You know, these basically, when you get these big slides, basically, people get trapped. I say people, institutions get trapped. You get these fast movements in the wrong direction, and you get a load of orders happening in one direction. You get a load of slippage to one side, and there'll be people that need to get out of these positions at these levels, and they tend to push price back to those levels. Yeah. So they're big accumulations where we get large orders executed, and there'll be banks and institutions on the wrong side of these moves, and they will pull them back to them to balance their books, basically. So this is why they act as magnets. And you know, when you get the market moves like this and the waves, this is basically efficiencies in the market being corrected, or inefficiencies in the market being corrected. So New Zealand dollar, US dollars just hit as well. So it looks like the US dollar is coming down more at the moment. Not much more. It's just still bouncing off the bottom there. So loads of moves, loads of opportunities all over the place on all time frames. So fill your boots. If you're getting into positions on these and you're position trading them, obviously just fade these massive moves that we've just got. If they're not going to play out today, they will play out possibly tomorrow in non-farm payroll, more than likely tomorrow in non-farm payroll. And if non-farm payroll doesn't do it tomorrow, because we do get the odd dud where we just don't go anywhere in non-farm, we just get a little spike and then we're kind of where we started. Early next week, you'll get those faded. And obviously bear in mind, they're all the euro. The euro is stuffed, as we know, still. So I'm just looking at this news. I don't know if anybody's seen anything that Lagarde has said that has caused a fundamental positive shift in the euro economic outlook. Here we go. Something's just come in now. We won't hike rates until net bond purchases have you're never going to stop net bond purchases until your economy picks up. So that's not coming soon. Pace of net asset purchases will be discussed in depth in the March meeting. Right. So basically, there's nothing happening till March. The Eurozone is stuffed until March. You heard it there first. Okay. So still no positive euro. So short all these, not short them all, short something euro. I'm Euro US. There we go. Whew. Right. Let's try and make some money out of the futures market. Next market to kill. Anybody got any questions on anything, or anybody want anything specific looked at FX wise that I haven't really covered? I mean, the market obviously you can see is in a complete turmoil at the minute. So news wise. Where are we? 3rd of Feb today, isn't it? So yesterday we had poor old Facebook. Not done too bad. Recovered fairly nicely. Earnings were it was their first missed forecast. Basically, they missed forecast by 4%, which is not a lot. But considering they've done 47% increases over COVID, you know, it's not as expected. So obviously Facebook tanked the market yesterday after market. We've had some pharma and things this morning. We got tech this afternoon, basically. Snap, Unity, Amazon, Activision. And we got Ford as well, which be interesting to see what Ford does. But shipping as well. So there's still more aftermarket news to come, but this is the final day of the kind of the earnings fortnight, the quarterly earnings fortnight. This is the final day. We've still got earnings coming out. I mean, earnings come out all the time. It's constant. But the big players are now all done. Peloton. What's going on with Peloton now? Death to Peloton. Look at that. 140 a share in March last year. We're all locked down. We all bought bikes. Then they went, you can go out. Hey! Oh, a COVID business. There you go. You are in trades for Euro US dollar. Yeah. So I'm in Euro US dollar short at the minute. Which news site is this? This is II, Interactive Investor. It's just ii.co.uk. And basically, it's a really good website. II. It's everything you need to know about stocks, basically. So anything that affects the S&P. Look at this. This is interesting. Analysts at US financial data group FactSet estimate an earnings growth rate of 21.8% for the S&P companies, which could mark the fourth straight quarter of earnings growth above 20%. Yeah? Are you sure about that? Didn't quite get that one right, did they? S&P. This is potentially the first pullback in the collapse, the imminent collapse of the stock market. So NASDAQ, same thing. We had a big push up, and today we have started to come down. So today is a really, really key day. So I'm looking for shorts today. We've started the day on a down. So we've opened down basically. Not by much. So we are pushing back up, but I'm looking for a push back up to get into shorts. Now there is an opportunity today for them to pull back up into this area and try and find some sellers up there, because obviously there was a lot of stock sold out of that yesterday, which I wrote down beautifully as well. Really getting into piling in hard on these. So there is an opportunity for a push. So I'm looking for basically pushes today to short. I don't want to pile in too quick. Yesterday we had a really choppy day yesterday. I got chopped to pieces yesterday. Managed to come out of it. $300 yesterday, wasn't it? About 330 up. So came out of it up, but it was really, really difficult day today. So I'm going to kind of play it a bit cautious today, because I've had a decent day on the where's my profit gone? What? Sorry, what's just happened there? So let me look at the market. Let me open my VPS a minute. I've got a feeling I've got that. I've got an EA running on there. So I'm testing slippage. I've got a feeling. That EA has just slipped out again. Bear with me a second. History, where are we? US cash. There we go. So we took a buy and a sell on both. And we lost $200, $300, and $15. Right, okay. On a whipsaw. Right. I'm testing basically this EA at the moment to test slippage at the open. So what I'm basically looking to do with an EA is to get breakouts of the 15-minute opening range of the opening ranges basically before the open. So the 15 to 30 minutes before the open. Let's have a quick look at a 1 minute chart. I'll explain what it's doing, the EA. It's looking at where we were before the open. So here's the open, and here's the range beforehand, yeah, which is quite tight actually today. What the EA is doing is it's looking at these ranges and trying to scalp a sort of 10, 15, 20 pip move, short or long, depending on which way it goes. Sometimes, as in today, what you do is you get whipsawed, yeah, which is occasionally it does happen. So you get taken long stopped out, taken short, stopped out. So basically what they're doing is they're clearing the stops, which is why breakout trading doesn't work most of the time. But what I'm finding in live testing, and today, unfortunately, it's gone in with way bigger lot size than I wanted it to. I've got a setting wrong on it, and it's my fault for not checking it. It went in with 9 contracts long. I didn't want it to do that. I wanted to go in with 0.9. But anyway, what I'm finding is you can't get filled. And I've tested this on 3 different brokers now. I've tested it on Axie, I've tested it on Robo Forex, and I've tested it on IC Markets. And what happens at the open is, because there is such a violent move on the indices at the open, and this happens in Frankfurt, London, and New York, you get slipped somewhere between 5 to 10 pips. Yeah. So when you're targeting 5 to 10 pips, that slippage, yeah, whereas let's say, for example, that's my entry. I wanted to enter there. What happens is it hits my entry, and I don't get filled at my entry. I get filled here. So what is actually happening is I'm getting filled, and as soon as the order's filled, I'm negative. Yeah. And a tiny move back stops me out. So if it moves back to where my entry was, that's a stop out. And what I'm finding is, because the slippage is happening, I'm losing somewhere between 2 to 3 times the profit than MT4 shows in backtesting. And there's another example today. So I'm going to turn that EA off, basically, because it doesn't work. But interesting findings on that. So let me just turn that off. Whoop, not new order. I want to turn it off. Yeah. So interesting fact. Slippage is massively important at the open. So if you've got any EAs that trade around the open of New York, Frankfurt or London, you will find that any results you get in back testing will not work in forward testing. Because my forward testing of that EA was making somewhere between 40 to 70,000 pound a year per intraday. Live testing for the last week, it's lost money. And it's not lost money because it got the trades wrong. Some of the trades it got right, but the actual profit from those trades has been about 30 to 50% lower than it should have been. So the losing trades have been much bigger than they should have been, and the winning trades have been much smaller than they should have been. So there you go. So I was just going to say, I'm having a good day today. I'm not having a good day now because I've just lost $300. So yeah, right. So we need to make some money. So yeah, today fading the NAS, fading the S&P. So plan as usual. Look for the 15-minute opening range, and just see what we can get today. Let's get rid of some of these lines. Don't need. So levels wise. Put some highs and lows in. So that is your 15-minute opening range. So we had that whipsaw to start with. And that's our current opening range high. So I'm taking the 15-minute opening range. And I'm looking basically for breaks of the opening range and pullbacks. But at the moment, I'm basically just looking to short. We're 0.5% down at the moment on the NASDAQ on the day. So if this push holds, let's get rid of all these WESAM levels that didn't hold if you were here yesterday. So yeah, basically looking for shorts really. Just waiting for some price action to confirm it. We're going to move over to 50 Renko. Let's just slow it down a little bit. I'm going to short one. So I'm going to have a crack at the open. So I'm going to assume this is the 15-minute opening range, and this push basically is going to get faded for a down day. Let's see if we can get that $300 back for a start. Let's see if we can fade the opening move. It's the opening range low. Current opening range high. Same on the S&P pretty much. So levels wise today, we've just pushed up into this accumulation today, which we've rejected out of. Euro US dollar is pushing up still, hit 200% ADR. Yeah, so it's probably the Dixie still, isn't it? Yeah, Dixie's still coming down at the moment. So next stop for the Dixie is this accumulation here. 200% ADR. So if we can get pushed to 200, obviously this level here is a strong support resistance that we're getting to as well. So this point here, which we reacted off and broke through, we came back and retested that 3 times, wasn't allowed. And that's where we're bouncing at the minute. So let's see if this is it. I think they're just I think at the moment they're just positioning ahead of non-farm. I think they're probably going to use non-farm tomorrow to put the move in, which means you could see some more push on the Euro US dollar today and pound US dollar. So yeah, levels wise, S&P first area for concern is just below 44.50, so somewhere around 44.45. So a long way down. Diamonds, I got in on the initial pullback, going one more short from 175. Turns out should have waited a bit. Yeah, it's always the way. It's always the case. You're very rarely ever going to catch the top on anything. You know, you're not going to catch the top on things. It just doesn't work. As long as you catch the meat in the middle. Okay, so just seeing if we... So I'm just going to get one more on this in a second. Adding one more. So just looking to see here if we are going to hold market structure. So that is the pullback for the drop. That's the plan. Oh, I can't believe that EA. It's really annoyed me, that has. Unfortunately, the only way to test scalping EAs is live forward testing. Because M1 data and slippage and spread is so unreliable in any strategy tester. You can't, because your slippage and your spread is your broker, and strategy tester, whether it be MT4, MT5, NinjaTrader, whatever you're using, can never simulate what your broker's going to do in live conditions. And if you've got something that is scalping small amounts of money out the market, slippage and spread are the most important elements to any strategy that scalps. So you have to forward test it with real money, and you have to also forward test it with real money at real lot sizing. If you go in with 0.01s, you're going to get them filled, and they're not going to slip very much because they're tiny orders. If you want to go in with 0.5s, 0.6s and 0.7s, with 5, 6, 7 lots per entry, because it's scalping, you're going in with big lot sizing for small gains. You've got to go in with those lot sizes. you got to do what you're going to do in the real world, aren't you, when you're forward testing? So entering one more short. But unfortunately, sometimes it doesn't work out. So I'm scrapping that idea. That was going to be a really good EA. I've been working on that for 2 weeks. Fantastic backtest results. I was using a compounding, 1% compounding risk structure with it as well. And did a 5-year backtest, which worked absolutely beautifully. And it took a 5,000 account up to 1.4 million in 5 years. Absolutely brilliant. Unfortunately, though, it doesn't look like you'll ever get the contracts on, because when you get up to that size, you have to be putting 50 lots on. So if I can't get 9 lots on without getting slippage that makes a loss, what am I going to do with 50 lots? That's never going to get filled, is it? You're going to slip. You're going to slip 15, 20 pips on that. It's just not going to happen, is it? So yeah, kick that idea into touch. Struggling at the lows on this. I'm just going to take one off. Got a little tick up. Customer service. I stopped using ORB 3 years ago just because of chop. Indices chop until 11 a.m. Best results happen after that. Yeah. ORB still work really, really well, but not on 1 minute chart at the open. Any time after the first 3 to 5 minutes, ORB's slippage goes out the window. There's no slippage. It's the slippage is in the first minute to 2 minutes of the market open, sometimes 3 or 4 minutes. And that is exactly when that EA is designed to get in and take advantage of the volume, basically. Because as soon as you get that initial dump of orders, that's where I'm making it, basically making the money on that initial push, which gives you that volatility spike. So it's working. You can't see it in MT4, but so that is what I'm playing. That, yeah, that volume spike. You see the volume spike there? So this is 10 minutes. And now look at it. 10 minutes. After 10 minutes, it's all settled down. You'll have no problem getting any order filled at any size, really, there. But there, you try and enter anything in MT4 over 3 to 5 lot in size, you slip on it. It's just not possible. So I might develop it for futures, because you don't get slipped as much in futures, obviously. So, it's wiki, innit? Closing one more. So yeah, we'll see. Still within the 15-minute opening range at the moment. So it's still a little bit dangerous down here. So I'm just being a bit cautious with my finger over the exit button. I'm just going to close one more out there. Don't like that down there. So just got one contract short at the minute. See if we get a test off of this wick and then push back down again. So S&P's still not gone out the lows yet. Yes, futures, please, Ninja. I've never coded anything for Ninja, apart from the gap indicator, but I didn't really code that. It was just converted from an existing indicator. So I've never coded an EA or a. It's not called an EA in Ninja, is it? It's called an what's it called? An ATM. ATM. That's where you get your money from. It's looking fairly heavy this morning still, this afternoon at the open. I'm hoping for a trend day. We haven't had a trend day for ages. We need one. If we did find the top yesterday, we should start to see a couple of trend days coming in now. Down, potentially. Still feels weird saying that. Looking to short the indices. Just very, very abnormal still. Okay, short one more. Still got 1 minute left on this candle. I really want to break these lows if we can on this candle. Just to confirm this bottom here. S&P's pushing. Going for the low of the day. 4,500, critical point on the S&P. Struggled at that yesterday as well. Was it yesterday? No, it wasn't yesterday, was it? Day before. That's the day before. That's where we were rotating around 4,500, weren't we? So this is quite a critical point. We spent a whole day in. That was that was 750 down that day, wasn't it? I spent a whole day in rotation there, trying to get through it. Adding one more short. So this is a real critical point. This could be a real buying spot potentially. So got to be a bit careful here. Non-manufacturing PMI is coming out in 5 minutes. Thanks, Luke. I forgot about that. Do need to keep an eye on that one because it's US dollar affecting, which is obviously going to affect the indices as well. 5 minutes. S&P's coming off 45. Yeah. Just waiting to see. We're just obviously in accumulation here at the minute. I'm just going to, if we can get a little more of a tick down, I'm just going to scale out one of these. If got too many on ahead of news. Services PMI, not manufacturing. Oh yeah, well, non-manufacturing PMI, which is services PMI. Sorry, I read that wrong. Doesn't really matter what it is. It's something that moves. That's what we're interested in. Come on. That 4,500 level looks like it wants to hold at the moment on the S&P. Still not going anywhere down here though. So until we tick up, I'm going to get out if we tick back up again. And I'm going to scale out if we tick down, just to get out of some size, because we haven't gone anywhere. So still in our 15-minute opening range on S&P and the NAS. Not gone anywhere yet. 2 minutes to the news. Could do with this being positive. Hopefully that will give us a knee-jerk reaction up on the dollar, which will push the indices down temporarily. Okay, scaling out one. It's got 2 short now. One minute of news. Just putting a hard stop in case we spike on the news. Sorry, that's wrong. Whoa, that was close. Okay, news is out. As expected, just over. Positive US, short another one. Just putting that down in case. Not much reaction to that. US dollar's not interested in it either. Starting to push up slightly. Closing one. I can't make its mind up, can it, today? How many have I got on 2? Could get stopped out. Out. There you go. That was a productive 20 minutes. Grand $2 loss. You watch it. This is what happened to me yesterday, wasn't it? I stopped trading and then it collapsed. Absolutely collapsed. All the positions I had would have made me about $1,500, and then the whole thing collapsed just after I stopped trading the chop. Excuse me. Be one of those. Yeah, here we go. Okay, short one. Let's have another go. Real indecision here. We're accumulating orders, so we are going to go one way or the other in a minute, but still feels bearish to me. The S&P can't get up. Hasn't managed to recover any of this down move at the open yet. Wicks to the upside. It's looking heavy. This bottom has held though at the minute. Selling one more. Just getting ready to get out of one of those. If we close up there. Is it going to be one of those days again, do you think? We seem to be waiting at the moment, literally, a good hour and a half in session now before we get any movement. Very, very frustrating. The open is no longer the best time to trade, I don't think. Just hitting these highs. Yeah, that one. Still no directional bias on anything in any direction yet, so I'm just going to hold it in the middle here. I'm just going to get into one more short in a second. If we tick down again, I'm just going to enter one more short and bring my average up a little bit and just see if we can get a push down starting from here. So start the move there down. There we go. So going one more short just to bring the average up. So looking for a head and shoulders. Be nice, wouldn't it? Dixie's not going anywhere. Stuck. Totally stuck. Beautiful Euro CAD. Tweezer tops on M15. Euro CAD. Rejection at 125 ADR. Euro Swiss is rolling over. Euro pound is putting in an M pattern. Euro yen tweezers, well, double top. Hammer going in, shooting star rather. Euro New Zealand's just hit ADR, just done a liquidity run. Entered short, saw a double top, entered short, liquidity taken out, entered short, taken that liquidity. They're ready to go. So am I. Oh, one more down. God, I got all wicks. It is so wicky again. But entering short one more. Euro US dollar. That is obviously still holding up because the US dollar's not moved yet. Pound's starting to recover a little bit. Small bounce on the pound. Pound US dollar's holding up as well. New Zealand is coming down at the open. They've all come off of ADR nicely. And the US dollars obviously won't be going anywhere because it's not moving. Oh my God. Make your mind up. Totally erratic down here. Just no structure or pattern at all. Just accumulation. I'm going to put a hard stop on that again. So you can see obviously what we're doing at the minute. We're just accumulating at the below the lows of Asia and London. So we haven't gone anywhere yet. We're just accumulating, ready for the move. The move is either going to be up into a retracement, which I'll gather those orders, or we're going to go. In fact, I might stick another short in there. Oh, on death of market. Oh, find the right button. So I'm going to get a little bit more aggressive. Weekly range here on the Swiss yen. Still pushing. Swiss franc looks like that's still pushing. Yeah. Bearish engulfing starting to form. Doesn't mean anything with 4 minutes to go on the candle, obviously, but so I'm just looking for a run, basically. We haven't had one. Just looking for basically any run. You know, even if it's a dodgy pullback style run, anything but accumulation again. Just all we seem to be getting these days is just chop and then a massive flurry, and you just cannot predict the direction of these at the minute. Another loss. It's going to be one of those days today. I can see it coming. One Dixie I wanted. So US dollar's coming down again. So we've seen a bit of buying pressure in the indices. So it's not really coming down. It's just not going up. Two minutes till candle close on this. So let's see if we can get some bearish signs. So this is the level I was looking at yesterday, if we were going to drop to get down to, which is the top of this propulsion move. And we just basically got to the top there and just went net and straight through it. So this is going to act potentially as a decent level of support. Failing that, I'd be halfway through that move for a potential bounce, which is this old accumulation level. And obviously there's support there as well. So we want to see a considerable just break today of these levels if we're going to continue this move to the downside. Doesn't seem to be any strength at the minute though. Either way, up or down. Stopped out. I'm going to wait. No movement. Just looking for where we're going, if we're going up long term, but tempted to trade this on the 1 minute chart at the moment because it's just so slow. Going short one. I'm just going to scale in up to these highs. Look for a double top. think we need to be in and out quicker today because it's moving so slow. Maybe with a bigger lot size as well. Might go for 2s. Sending one more. Right, 98. Okay, going one more. Just bring the average up towards the highs. To see if we get a double top on the NAS up here. If we're going to rotate for a while, then this is where we're going to start rotation from. Okay, sending one more. Just getting ready to exit these. $18.30 is my cutoff on it. See if we get some sellers coming in here. If not, I'm out. Okay, S&P's trying to pull back within the range. So I'm basically just watching the Renko here, looking for basically an M pattern formation at the 830 level, which is where we started selling. See if that's going to hold. If that holds and brings us back inside the opening range, I'll be looking to stay range bound towards the lows, really. S&P's confirming it at the minute. 4 short. I don't really want to add here. Bit dangerous. Wouldn't mind if I had 1 or 2 contracts on, but I'm not going to add to a losing position with 4 contracts on. So see if these highs hold. If we get an opening range break retest. S&P's coming down nicely. Potential W forming on the US dollar. Same one more. It's getting back to average. Oh, whoa. Jesus. I just sold 4 there. That was a mistake. I had my... I was set on 4 contracts to exit. I just entered 4 short. I'm just here. I'm hovering the buy button now to get out of these fast if we tick up. It's way too much lot size. Too many contracts. Okay. Could be a nice mistake. Too risky though. Closing 1, 2. Closing the other 2 out. Back down to 4. So that was almost a very expensive mistake. I only wanted to go 1 more short. So we just closed back inside the opening range. S&P's done the same. So we'll see if we hold. If we can hold the opening range, there's a good chance we're just going to rotate in here for a while. So basically play it back down. Play it back down into this area here. And then back down to the lows. 1 more short. We're just bouncing off support at the minute. Now ticking back up again. Closing. I'm flat. I have one more go. I'm just going to wait for it to set up. Just at the moment, there's no directional bias. We're literally trading wicks, constantly trading wicks. It's just impossible to trade this chop at the minute. This is the same as we've had for 2 days on the trot. I had one lucky day, one unlucky day. Just can't get any lot size on, any contracts on. It's just chopping out of the contracts all the time. As soon as you get any size on, the move just doesn't happen. We're not getting any moves, any decent speed. Okay, so I'm going to try and get him a bit faster. Could well have directional bias wrong today. Okay. Going short again. So I need these lows broken. I'm going to hold this one again back up to these highs. If we invalidate these highs, I'll get out. Like that. No. I'm flat. That's my loss limit, basically. $1,000. Got to be careful with this account because I've only got 3,000 drawdown, so I can't push it more than that. Otherwise, you're going to get to the point where you're going to just, if you're not trading well, you get to the point where you just do a 3,000 down day and you have to start again from scratch. So I'm not going to lose the account because I can't read the market today. So I'll take that hit. Looks to me, still looks bearish, massively bearish. It's just we're not getting any bear moves out the open at the moment. We're not getting any moves out the open. We're literally stuck at the moment. So I think I'm just going to trade my long-term position. 225 on Euro Swiss. Euro's still up at the highs. Euro Swiss has just made new highs, but Euro Yen has as well. So still strength on the Euro. Still weakness on the US dollar by the looks of things. There's just nothing, is there? The US dollar's not moving. Pound's going nowhere in New York either. Nothing much going anywhere at the minute. I think the market's exhausted after all that movement today on the euro and the pound. There we go. This is what happened to me yesterday, wasn't it? So what do you think I should do today? Because yesterday, when this happened, the market went exactly where I said it was going to go. Ugh. Didn't it? I got out with $300 and I said exactly where it was going to go and it went there after I closed my positions out, after chopping around and waiting for ages. It's almost like you need to start trading now an hour into the session. The first hour of the session at the moment is just where we used to have these beautiful straightaway trades. It's just chop now. I'm waiting for the NAS to fall to 14,600, but it's unbearably slow. Yeah. This is the problem at the moment. It's the speed, I think. This is the issue. I'm used to trading M5 and 50 Renko. When we haven't got speed, you've got to drop down to lower. And I think you've got to drop down lower and get in and out faster. Bigger contract sizes, smaller moves, and just chip away at it. You just got to take these like 5-10 point moves and just get in and out as quick as you can, because there's just no movement. But then we get it after the first hour to an hour and a, like after an hour to an hour and a half. That's when we saw the movement yesterday, wasn't it? It's very, very tough. We're back down at this potential support again. It's a quick move above the highs. It's almost easier to make money in the London session. It's crazy. It's definitely the area we want to get back down to at the moment. There's just no reason to turn here where we are at the minute. It's just no reason to turn here. So it don't even make sense. Okay, we've broken that support temporarily. Getting in again. Waiting on the opening range high. Yeah. I'm out. I'm flat. 11.42 down. I have to take it on the chin today. Yeah, I know I've got the extended M. I was just going to say that actually. I got the M pattern right, but I got the wrong M pattern. I just can't read it. It's chop. It's just chop. So I'm just going to sit here and get chopped if I carry on trading it. So I'm giving up today. I get it back, just not today. We've still got movement down on the US dollar. We've still got movement on the euro, positive. So the market is just in a holding pattern at the moment. We're accumulating on the euro up at the highs. So there's going to be a move at some point. It's just not now. So there's no point in trying to trade this at the minute. This level's holding at the moment on the NAS, but it's just, you know, we are putting a lot of volume in very, very slowly up, very, very slowly down. So one of those is going to happen today. We're either going to break low, I think, and come back down, or we're going to pop up before we come back down. But it's no movement. Chop. Can't trade chop, so. Still there. Right, so I'm going to call it a day there because I can't really trade anymore today on that. And if I look at it and it comes down, I'm going to start revenge trading it. So I shan't look at it anymore. Holding short on the indices, basically. So I'm just playing this 24 bounce. Long term, looking for move down. So we'll see how that plays out. At the moment, we've got no more news today. We're all up to date on news. Tomorrow morning, early hours, we've got the Australian monetary policy statement. Early hours. It's not necessarily going to be a big mover, but it can be. It depends what's said. As we saw from this afternoon with Lagarde, the market can react very oddly to talking heads if it needs to. So we've got Broadbent speaking tomorrow afternoon as well. Again, another talking head, and that's all ahead of non-farm payroll. So we may well see ourselves, as we were this morning, sitting waiting for non-farm, which is fine. I'm happy to do that. As long as we get some positive movement on the US dollar out of non-farm, which would be good. So unemployment claims are positive. We had negative non-farm employment change. So difficult to call what we're going to get on non-farm tomorrow. But as we know, either way, it doesn't necessarily mean the figures aren't going to necessarily mean that the market's going to move in a particular direction. The market will move where they need to take it. So we'll see what happens with non-farm tomorrow. But yeah, choppy as you like today. Again, so now we're pushing down. Look, typical, isn't it? It's always the way. I still think it's a short today. I still think it's a short. So I'm staying short, but I'm going to stay short on CFDs. I haven't got any more wriggle room today on my futures, unfortunately. I don't want to lose it. I don't want to lose the account. So I don't mind my own money. I'm happy to lose my own money. But when you're trading a bigger futures account, obviously, it's a nightmare having to go through the whole prop firm evaluation again. It takes another 2 weeks out of your trading life, having to go back and reevaluate, which is a pain in the backside. So, right, so that's all I've got for you today. There's nothing else coming up this afternoon. Obviously, everything that we're in at the minute is kind of sitting holding at the moment, up at the highs where we were for the euro, and obviously the US dollar and the pound. Nice contraction on the pound at the minute. Getting ready for a move. And same with the US dollar, obviously. Just chop. You see 15 minutes, we've basically just gone up. We've come back down, we've gone up. We're just sitting in an accumulation at the minute. So I think we're probably going to see this for most of New York, if not Asia as well, ahead of non-farm. So again, another awkward day to trade, unfortunately. So, and that's annoyed me as well. EA development. See how much money it costs? US dollar CAD's coming down. US dollar Swiss coming down. Looks like the US dollar's coming down again. Another drop on the US dollar. Another spike on the indices. So just not going the right way today. So right, so anything you need in the Telegram group, I shall be in there. I'll be back tomorrow morning at 8:30. We'll have a look at the market and where we're set up for new entries. Oh, wrong one. RSIs. 3811. RSIs, we've got loads. So this is the hourlies. Remember I said the hourlies will all light up like Christmas trees when that candle closes. So we've got tons and tons of opportunities for M5 entries on the hourlies. Euro US dollar, Euro Swiss, Euro CAD, Euro yen, all really nicely extended. 75 to 80 on the RSI, so all going to be due a nice pullback. Some of these obviously euro odd, euro yen could well move in the Asian session, so you could get out of those overnight. And we've got 4-hour extensions now on the pound CAD to 75, so that's really nicely extended. That's the one obviously that's got extended and embedded on that spike up. So again, good opportunity for profit takes on that one. We've had big move, no pullback, and we've extended even further. So this one's even more due now. Quite a lot of the moves in here, in this spike, you kind of have to discount those because everybody that bought up there sold down there. The profit's all been done in this. So it's probably just going to wait until it's ready for a profit take move. So we could see this retest these highs tomorrow, possibly even today. You might get back up there. But any of these that have pushed and pulled back, obviously all the profit take moves are done in that one candle. So if you get 4-hour extensions that are looking like this, obviously you don't want to trade things like that short necessarily. Okay, so that's all I've got for you today. Another deflating day, unfortunately. But hey, the month's looking good. Still looking good on the month. Up 17% so far. So on the way. Just finding it very tough in the chop. So I'll be back tomorrow at 8:30. Give us a thumbs up if you like the stream. And if you need anything, come in the Telegram group. I will be in there. And see you tomorrow morning at 8:30. Hopefully have a good afternoon.